What is up, guys? Geek Talk back here again today to give you guys another Teen Wolf video. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading in the last 2 weeks. School has started again and I've been trying to get as much work done as possible. I've been trying to really focus on school a lot lately, and it's kind of taken away. Well, I don't want to say taken away, but it's kind of distracted me from the whole YouTube thing. But aside from that, we're back here today again with another Teen Wolf video, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my opinion and my review on the Teen Wolf series finale, The Wolves of War. Yes, guys, it's actually sad saying those words coming out of my mouth and hearing, well, not saying them, that's really weird, hearing them come out of my mouth, because I've been a huge fan of the series since day one on June 5th, 2011. Now, for those of you who don't know, the series has gone downhill into just a whole deep spiral of shit after season 3. And most of that is due to a lot of the cast leaving. I think, at least that's my opinion and that's my speculation on what's happened to the series, because everybody who's a fan of Teen Wolf knows that season 3 is hands down the best season of the entire show. I mean, if you ask any Teen Wolf fan what's their favorite season, they're gonna say season 3, at least part 1 or part 2 as their number 1. So with that said, let's just get into it, man. Alright, so the series finale starts off with a flash forward of Scott and Argent in the future rescuing a new werewolf named Alec from hunters. And basically Scott is telling Alec his entire story from the night he was bit in season 1 episode 1 all the way to now, the finale, The Wolves of War. So essentially what this whole episode is basically a flashback to what happened during last episode, because technically this episode takes place in the future, but it doesn't. I don't know, it's confusing. But let's just say the beginning's in the future, and the whole episode is a flashback of what happened basically when they were trying to take out the Anukate. So we flash back, right? Deucalion, he got shot up, and I will talk about that in another video, because I really did not like Deucalion's death. I hated Deucalion's death, because to me, he went out like a little bitch. Like, he just stood there and took the L. Okay, so here's the argument Deucalion fanboys like to bring up, right? Deucalions are this all-powerful werewolf. Deucalion can do all this other stuff. And, you know, I agree with them for the most part. Deucalion is a really freaking powerful werewolf. Probably one of the most... No, not probably. Is one of the most powerful werewolves in the entire freaking show. And probably the strongest alpha in Beacon Hills. But that can be argued because Scott's pretty strong too. He just doesn't like to show his strength. He just went out like a little bitch, man. Like, he just stood there and took the L. Like, man, you're an all-powerful werewolf, right? You're the demon wolf. How did you not hear the hunters pull up, or at least come from afar? Like, don't werewolves have super hearing? That just really bothered me. His death really bothered me, because as soon as I saw that, my reaction was originally... It was just cringy to me. I was like, yo, come on. Like, this is how Deucalion goes out? Really? I was like, this is some bull crap. I was like, yo, I hated Deucalion's death, man. Deucalion's death was really bad. But I will say probably the most heartbreaking death and probably the saddest death this season is Brett's death. I did not care about Lori at all, because her actress is really bad and she cannot act for her life. But man, alright, so after Deucalion gets shot up, Styles and Derek comes back, and well, they come back. That was the best part of the episode, is Styles and Derek, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about a lot of different things right now. Yeah, Styles and Derek coming back. You know, that was kind of fire. You know, I was waiting for Styles for 8 freaking episodes. No, not 8. 9 freaking episodes. The last time we saw this man which then said the spider to the fly, and we don't get him till the Wolves of War. And that's partially why I didn't really care for this season after the first episode. And in my honest opinion, I think this is probably the worst or the second worst season that the creators have produced, because you know, there was a lot of hype surrounding this season. You know, you had Derek coming back, you had Styles coming back, you had Jackson and Ethan coming back. So there was a lot of things they could have potentially did with this season, but they just let so many things go to waste. Like, so many fans wanted all their fan theories to come to life this season. The possibilities were endless, bro, but they let it all go to waste. I know a lot of people wanted to see Liam become an alpha, or had the idea of Liam becoming an alpha in the series finale. That doesn't happen. Liam literally does nothing in this episode but take out a few hunters at the hospital with Theo. And don't get me wrong, Theo had a really good ending. I will say that Theo had a really good ending to his character. I was pleasantly surprised with how Theo went out in the end. Even, don't get me wrong, he doesn't die. He just has a really, really good redeeming scene, if you guys have seen the episode. But spoilers, yes, Theo does get redeemed. Theo is a good guy now, officially. Like, we all thought that Theo was still kind of a bad guy because of what he did to Liam and Triggers. But no, guys, Theo is good now. Theo's on the good guy side. So yeah, right. Let's talk about the deaths real quick. So we barely had any deaths this episode too. Like, there were no stakes. Like, everybody came out alive, son. So we had like Gerard's death, even though he died off screen. And if anybody knows how Teen Wolf works, if you supposedly quote unquote die off screen, you're most likely going to come back sooner or later in some way, shape, or form. And we had Gabe's death, which actually was on screen. And, you know, Gabe's death was kind of sad, even though I freaking hated the actor because he did such a freaking good job with playing Gabe. And I freaking hated Gabe's character because he was so evil. Like, he did so many messed up things. I think the most messed up thing he ever did was when he beat up Liam in the classroom. And I think it was either in Pressure Test or Face to Faceless. But man, Gabe is an absolute monster. I was actually pretty happy when he died, but pretty sad too, because, you know, Theo took away his pain. And, you know, that was kind of sad because he was like, it hurts. And, you know, Theo came over and took his pain away. And Theo was like, does it hurt now? And, you know, he was like, no, it's fine. And then he just passes away. You know, that was I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of sweetening. You know, like, that was a really good character moment for Theo. But man, I felt like Kate killing Gerard, or supposedly quote unquote killing Gerard, since Gerard probably isn't dead, but there's a good chance he is, because, you know, Kate's a freaking were-jaguar who can summon berserkers. So, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that man's dead, but it felt very anticlimactic to me. Like, it was very unsatisfying. I was like, it was cool to see Gerard finally go out, because, you know, everybody hates Gerard because Gerard is an old grumpy fool. But, like, you have to admit, he's probably one of the better villains in the series, dude. Like, Gerard, he's had some pretty good, you know, story arcs. Season 2, even though he appeared in one episode in Season 3, you know, his comeback in Season 5 and his comeback in this. Even though Gerard didn't really do anything this season, it was mostly Tamora. And I'll talk about Tamora in, like, well, basically right now. So, this is the thing that made me so mad, right? Tamora does not die. She gets away clean, bro. Clean. So, essentially what happens is, after Styles gets rid of the Anukate, and I'll talk about that in a second too, after I get done talking about Tamora. Hold on, I gotta drink my water right quick. You know, your man's gotta drink water. Excuse me. So essentially, after the Anukate, yeah, that's what you call it. The Anukate was taken out by Styles, with the freaking Mountain Ash. Peter, he breaks free from his, I guess you can say, stone form, or whatever you call that crap. And Tamora's right down the hallway, right? She burst out the door, bro. And Peter just standing there taking. I don't know if it's Peter or Malia. Someone can let me know down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure it was Peter. So Peter breaks out, right? He takes out a guard. He just sit there, zooms in on his face, and he transforms into like his wolf form. And his eyes glow, and he's just roaring into the screen. I'm like, dude, instead of roaring and trying to like give the audience an "oh wow, Peter's cool" moment, and we all know Peter's cool. It's freaking Peter, hell, for Christ's sake. But instead of trying to give the audience that one like epic Peter moment, you could have just like gone and killed Tamora. Like, there were just so many things that bothered me this episode. And speaking of things that bothered me, let's get to the final thing I want to talk about before the ending, and that is Scott's fight with the Anukete. So, right, we've been waiting for this the entire season. We knew something bad. We knew there was another big bad supernatural coming this season, as we saw in the trailer with that skinless face guy, but we didn't know who it was. And we find out in season 6 episode 15, 16, 14 that it's the Anukete. Someone can let me know which episode we find out who he is down in the comment section below. But right, we've been waiting for this fight for a few episodes now, and this fight has been hyped up beyond belief, bro. Like, the Anukete is probably one of the stronger villains we've had, since he could literally turn you into stone and kill you just by looking at you, son. Like, that's some Medusa type shit. So, right, Scott's in the library, he's hiding from the Anukete. The Anukete already got everybody, including Derek, which Derek was kind of stupid in this episode. I won't lie. Like, Derek, like, this is not the smartest Derek Hill has been. Like, I've seen Derek Hill act way smarter in older seasons than he has in this episode. Like, Derek Hale was on some stupid type stuff in this episode. Like, why would you open your eyes to a fake Jennifer Blake, bro? Like, she's been dead for 3 seasons, that. Why would you open them? Like, I'm like, come on, Derek, really? But anyway, that's just a little nitpick I have. But anyway, back to the Anukete fight, right? So we've been waiting for this for a long time, like all summer we've been waiting for this. The Anukete turned into Void Styles and the Nagatsune, the Oni, Malia, Derek, the Dread Doctors, or at least I think the Surgeon, and a Berserker. Right? Those are the forms he uses to try and take out Scott. Now, the Anukete in a way kind of reminds me of Pennywise the Dancing Clown. I don't know if anyone's ever talked about this, but the Anukete, to me, has similar powers to Pennywise in the way that he can sort of like kill you and scare you using fear, since this whole season's based on fear and everybody's afraid of something. So like the final battle kind of reminded me of the It 2017 movie ending, when the Losers Club were fighting Pennywise and they were beating the crap out of him, and Pennywise was trying to transform into all their different forms and stuff, and they were trying to beat him up. So that's what that kind of reminded me of for a second. I was like, yo, this kind of reminds me of the It 2017 ending, when the Losers Club were trying to take out Pennywise, because the Anukete was transforming in like all of Scott's fears of the main villains from the past season. And the form he uses the most, and I guess like you can say this is his favorite form, just like Pennywise the Dancing Clown is its favorite form from the film. The form he takes on the most is Void Styles and the Nagatsune, and he starts to taunt Scott, saying, "Oh, you failed everybody, and especially Allison." That was kind of messed up. And another thing that really bugs me is, how does the Anukete even know who Allison is? That really bugged me. Like, how does the Anukete know who Void Styles is? How does the Anukete know who the Nagatsune is? Unless the Anukete's probably encountered it at some point in its lifespan before Howin. No, but that doesn't even make sense though, because Howin was locked up in 1912, and the Anukete was locked in the Ghost Rider's dimension in 1912, and the Nagatsune, at least the one that possessed Styles, didn't come till like World War II. So that doesn't even make sense. So like, how does that doesn't make sense. Like, the Anukete shouldn't know. I guess it could know what Berserkers are. I guess it could know what the Oni are, but it shouldn't know what the Nagatsune is. and it definitely shouldn't know Void Styles. And I know for a fact the Anukate doesn't know who Allison is, unless the Anukate heard someone mention her name in one of the past episodes. I don't remember, because season 6 part 2 is really forgettable for me. Or he looked into Scott's mind, kind of like how Sebastian did in the season 5 finale. But anyway, you know, Scott, he clawed his eyes out. He did some Deucalion type stuff. You know, that was kind of fire. I was like, yo, this man Scott's really gonna throw down and fight. He's really gonna be on some Deucalion type stuff, and he's really gonna like prove himself that he is the alpha of Beacon Hill. Like, he is the strongest werewolf. And what happens? Scott doesn't do anything at all again. This is the final episode of the series, bro. You literally have every opportunity to redeem Scott as an alpha and make Scott do some epic stuff, bro. But he doesn't do anything. What does he do? He pushes the Anukate over to the side, and that's it. You wanna know who takes out the Anukate? You wanna know who gets the job done? No. It's not Scott. It's not Derek. It's not Malia. It's not Liam. It's not Lydia. It's Styles. Styles, bro. Mieczysław Styles Stilinski, my man. Mieczysław Styles, bro. This man is literally the one to take out the Anukate using Mountain Ash. And Mountain Ash, to me, is like a plot device. Like, it's like Mountain Ash reminds me of like the freaking Allspark and all that other stuff from those stupid Transformers films that have plot devices as like the main part of the story that like drives the story forward. Like, Mountain Ash was literally the only thing that could take out the Anukate, and it wasn't even explained from episodes before. Like, no one ever said Mountain Ash could take out the Anukate. No one ever says that. Styles just runs into the library, looks at the Anukate he looks straight into the Anukate's eyes, which should have been guaranteed to turn him into stone. But no, Styles looks away after looking it in the eyes, and you know, the Anukate turns into stone after using the Mountain Ash. You know, what I'm trying to say is the final battle was really, really underwhelming, really, really anticlimactic, really, really unsatisfying, and really, really boring, except for the Void Styles and Nagatsune parts, because I really did like those. But now let's get to the final part of the episode, right? The ending, the thing we've all been waiting for. The ending sucked. The ending was complete garbage, dude. Like, they didn't even give proper character endings to some of the characters that I wanted to see have good endings. What do we get? 5-second clips of each character. We get a 5-second clip of Theo staring into the camera. A 5-second clip of Peter in the woods just glowing his eyes and doing his classic roar. We get a 2-second clip of Mason, Corey, and Deaton looking at what I think is the bestiary, but we can't even tell because the clip goes by so fast. Like, it's really bad, guys. Like, I'm telling you, like, I really didn't like the ending. Now, I will admit, the way it played out was pretty good. I will give it that. Scott, you know, telling the Battle of the Anukate and his entire life story and how his story ends to Alec was pretty good, I will admit. And you know what he tells Alec, that quote he said to Liam in season 4 when Liam's like, "Oh, I'm a monster," and Scott's like, "No, you're not a monster, you're a werewolf." That quote, it was pretty good hearing that again. But then the most messed up thing happens, bro. You know, we have all the crew, our Styles, Lydia, Liam, Malia, Derek, you know, the OG Teen Wolf crew from season 3, season 4, minus Allison, Isaac, and you know, the characters that we actually cared about and were actually really good, well-written characters, bro, and had really good character arcs. And Daniel Sharman was supposed to come back to play Isaac this past season, right? But his contract with Fear the Walking Dead freaking interrupted with that, so he couldn't come back, and that was kind of messed up. But with that all said, that's my review on the series finale of Teen Wolf. I didn't really care for it that much. I didn't like it that much. I think it's definitely not one of the strongest episodes of the series. It's kind of on the weaker side. Definitely nowhere near top 10. Definitely nowhere near top 10 worst. But I will say, I was sort of satisfied by the ending. But with that all said, I'm Velocity. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm still doing that. It's even like 3 months later. I am Geek Talk, and I'm gonna get out of here. You guys can subscribe and turn on post notifications if you guys want to hear more. And I'm gonna be grinding again like I was back in August and July, and I'm gonna be giving you guys new videos every single week, or at least I'm gonna try to. And with that all said, I'm Geek Talk, and I'm gonna get out of here. I got stuff to do, and peace, guys.